What scares the shit out of you as an adult? Watching my parents grow old. I don't live with them, so every time I see them, they look a bit older. Coupled with health issues, and they're not the invincible pillars of strength I used to view them as. It scares the shit out of me. After watching my grandmother and now my mother go through it. Alzheimer's. Time passing by. If this is the only chance I have in life to live it, how lousy is this life of mine? Feeling lonely, stuck, hopeless. Being unable to provide for the people who are counting on me. Serious illness, cancer, heart disease, etc. Dementia. You become a shell, a hollowed out human. Dementia is living death. Getting older. This shit suddenly started going really fast, like my mom always warned me about. Having a stroke or some sort of aneurysm that leaves me alive but physically closed off and unable to speak or function. The prospect of outliving any of my children. My uncle's 82 and my dad's 77. Have to face facts that I have fewer years left to enjoy spending time with my family than I'd like. Ending up with an illness like ALS, and being prevented from ending it myself. My kid is just 2 years shy of being 18. When I turned 18, I got a job, could afford an apartment and groceries, was able to start my life with modest means. This is an impossibility for her in today's economy. I'm scared for her. Inflation, the housing crisis, poverty after retirement. Running out of money before I die. The thought of getting older. Not just aging and loss of health independence, but the financial aspect. I'm never going to be able to afford to buy a home or retire. My retirement plan is pretty much to just walk into the forest and let nature claim me. In my 50s, I fear losing my mental faculties as I age and being a burden to those around me. My father had dementia and his final years weren't great. We took care of him the best we could, but it wasn't easy. Dentist price list. Bears. Being a vegetable, I'd rather die. Living my last days alone. Everything involving my kids. I have 2 new adult sons, so I'm worried about how they'll manage to support themselves in this economy. One just joined the military, so I worry about him and dangerous situations he could find himself in. I also have a preteen, so that's another barrel of worries as she gets older. And she's a girl. Weary. Going to the It's not like a routine visit. It's a crapshoot on if it's covered. Scary, scary times. Looks around, waves arms wildly. Losing my wife. I am so fucked if she ever dies. The future. That life seems to only get more complicated the older I get. Morons in cars. I'm 22 now, and this happened when I was 15. But the thought of my mom attempting to take her own life again and being the one to find her a second time, that is a pain that I wish no one has to ever experience. And if you have, I'm sorry. I'm just really scared of losing my mom. I don't know what I'd do without her. Not making it home for my kids' toddlers. The idea of them growing up and I'm not even a memory to them. Just a photo of someone holding them when they were small. Them never knowing how much I love them or how much they mean to me. Literally keeps me awake at night. Especially when traveling for work. Dying alone. Not even so much the actual act of passing away by myself, but more so living out the end of my years without companionship or someone to grow old with. I fear the lives of my grandchildren will not be as free, happy, and safe as my own life has been. Losing my mobility. My own future and the fact that I'm responsible for it. Poverty, depression. Politics and politicians. Just a bunch of narcissists and megalomaniacs pretending they're helping anyone. The economy. Literally everything. Being homeless. Some people's blatant disregard for others. Climate change. The world is in crisis. I am so glad I'm not young. Careening off a bridge into a river while driving at night in the rain. Also, my house catching fire while I am not home and my dogs dying in it. Oh, and surgical paralysis where the anesthesia wears off. You wake up, but you can't move or communicate that you're awake. The degradation of our planet. Resource depletion. Microplastics. Contamination and warming amongst many. The end. Not death. Death is not the end. I don't believe consciousness can truly die. Ever. How can it die? Utter darkness? Do we all just cease to exist when we die? I don't think so. But, then, what is the end? Not being able to retire and be financially comfortable. Also struggling financially until then. The cancer. It took my mom in 2018 at 53 years old. My dad is 63 and is going through chemo and radiation. I found a lump in my breast a few months ago and was absolutely shitting bricks until I had it checked out. The world my kids will have to deal with. My daughter is queer and my son is slightly on the spectrum. I fear they'll be treated unfairly, taken advantage of, or assaulted. Both of my kids are kind and really try to see the good in people. Even though most people aren't inherently good. I know I can't shield them from everything. I just hope they survive this world unscathed. The war. Russian. Unprovoked knife attack. Losing my wife. The fact that a nuclear holocaust can be upon us 30 minutes from now because some crazy leader decides to start WW3. I'm about to be 55. My wife of 11 years told me she doesn't love me and wants a divorce. I'm not trying to be funny or a smart ass. This is the most scared I've been my entire life. I have no hope or joy or future goals. I'm lost. Half of my family died in their 30s. I'm in my 30s now. Honestly contacting an uncurable disease. I truly want to off myself. Water leakage. Cancer. Dementia. Alzheimer. Heart disease. Two things. Death, the fact that one day, no matter how healthy I am, how good of a person I am, no matter what, I will die one day. I will cease to exist. Just simply not be one day. All of my memories gone. All of my dreams, sorrows, life, simply gone. My dad dying lost my mom to a very rare fungal meningitis when I was 19, and the thought of my dad being gone as well is horrible. I know it will break me. How my special needs daughter will live her life after I'm gone. Watching my parents get old and eventually losing them. I'm not prepared in any way for that. Not finding the one. Fascism. Falling ill. Outliving my loved ones. Rabies for obvious terrifying reasons and being alone. At 34 I'm about to be both single and living alone for the first time since moving out of my parents at 18. I know I can support myself financially and can handle responsibilities just fine. I just don't want to. I love having someone to go home to and share my life and thoughts with. When she moves out, I'll truly be facing one of my biggest fears. That there is no safety net. If I don't stay on top of everything in my life, it will fall apart. My home, my job, my wife and child. Everything could be taken from me or ruined if I slack off or make a big mistake. Being murdered. Everybody here giving serious answers while I'm still very much terrified of lightning. LMAO.